Hello, guys, and welcome back to Flow State. It is episode 37 today, and not episode 7, as I was rightly called out by my illustrious co-host here, Adam, in his solo episode that I wrongly named a couple of episodes back. It was episode 5, and my only excuse is that sometimes my head runs at a million miles an hour and my mouth just can't keep up. So it is definitely episode 37 today, and yeah, we're back together. I've been looking forward to this all week, frankly, and I even listened to Adam's podcast while I was doing my weekly shop and loved every second of it. So yeah, if you haven't listened to that one, please go and do it. Heaps of very useful stuff. But Adam, mate, how are you this morning? Fresh from a swim and an espresso before that?
Fresh from the swim, mate. We are back for episode 37. But every time I listen back every week, I always make a mistake. I think last week I was recapping my week and saying something that I did on Sunday, and then I carried on and said, oh, that was a great session on Saturday. It's just, I don't know. Human nature, mate. It's all right. Don't worry.
We're perfectly imperfect, and that's okay. See, I was listening to it. I wouldn't pick it up. I didn't pick it up.
This is a safe space, mate.
This is a safe for men, for women, for everyone and anyone, in fact, to listen and be perfectly imperfect, because that's what we are.
Absolutely.
As athletes, as people, and we love it. But yeah, as you were saying, mate, how are you? How's things?
Yeah, I'm pretty good. Just out of the pool. I'm just looking at myself here in the camera, and I think I've fixed my goggles because I don't have I have a little bit of something going on under the eyes, but I think like 2 weeks ago when we recorded, it was pretty bad. 3 weeks ago. So I've fixed the goggles and I'm good. Just finished a good swim session and really enjoyed it. So yeah, I'm great, mate. 7:25 on a Friday morning, and I'm chatting to you, having done a swim, espresso in me. I'm ready to rock.
That's a very dangerous combo for getting stuff done. So was the goggle, because you look a lot better than last time. I feel like last time it almost not like that. It was almost it was like you were a little bit bloodshot still, because I know you get the chlorine thing. Is it like a suction thing? You just had to adjust the.
Yeah, I probably made the rookie error of making the goggles a bit too tight. But I think we're sorted. Because
you end up looking like prime Messer Ozil after the end of a swim when eyes are popping out your face.
I used to go to school with a fella who had Mesut Ozil eyes.
Mate, I thought you were going to say I used to go to school with Messer Ozil. I was like, that's funny. I didn't try to do the maths in that one.
Yeah, so quick turnaround today. Out of the pool, straight into the shower, straight into the car, straight home. No time for messing around today. So I think I jumped out of the pool like 22 minutes ago.
Wow.
And the leisure centre's a 10-minute, it's between a 7 and a 10-minute drive away. And there was a bit of traffic on the way home. So, I mean, that was a sharp turnaround. No speeding or anything that. But
of course,
it's a sharp turnaround. So yeah, things are good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, very, very well. It's been a good week. Not as maybe hectic, because it is obviously 26 minutes past 6 here. So I'm feeling good. It's the end of my work week. I've done all my training for now. I had a really good sweet spot session earlier today, because I mean, even just like jumping straight into some training talk, man. Like we obviously, I was listening to you chat about just having that flexibility and that freedom with training, and at the moment, I'm some of my sessions are after work. So I do like a morning full of clients, and it's been a big week for me of work. And there's some days I get home and I'm just like, I don't know what I fancy doing. I'll find a cool Son Zwift, or I'll do a session. And today I was like, well, I haven't done an actual workout, a planned workout since last Friday, because I'd just done either races or I've done just courses and got through it. Whereas today I was like, I'm going to do something a bit more structured. So it was a really fun sweet spot pyramid session. So exactly as you would do if you were doing a run, it was basically 5-10 minute sweet spot intervals, kind of ramping up to what was about 95% of my FTP. So going from like 85 to 90 to 95 and then back down the other way. And I was in that first interval going, oh, this is feeling a bit spicy here. This might be a long kind of 50 minutes. But then stuck some football on, mate. I was watching the highlights from the last couple of days. Watched the Liverpool game. Watched the
Oh,
Man
don't,
City
mate.
game. Yeah, look, mate. We're in a similar situation, but yeah, football gets me through it, mate. Honestly, if I have a long interval, all I need to do is stick one of the kind of like 30-minute highlight shows on, and it's just stimulating enough to get you through it without kind of dragging. And
You sounded so London there.
on which bit,
Football gets me through it, mate.
mate, it rolls me up. And I don't know if
Yeah.
you've ever listened to me, but if
It
I,
is. It's a nice way to pass the time.
it is.
It actually, I agree with you, mate. Anytime I'm like on a easy like recovery bike or recovery elliptical, I always chuck on like the 30-minute Champions League or Premiership highlights, and yeah, it's unreal for just passing 30 minutes.
And do you know what's like the nerdiest part for me is I'm there still to. I was listening to my like Spotify Wrapped or whatever, and the Tifo Football podcast was by far my like most listened to. And so and the reason being is because when I'm on the bike, most of the time, I will listen to the podcast, and as they're talking about matches, if I haven't watched that match, I will pause the podcast, go and watch the 30-minute highlights, then come back to the podcast, wait for the next segment, wait for the match they talk about, and if it's one, and I do that and make that gets me through it. And because realistically, I was on that bike for like an hour and 40 today, and
Wow.
it goes by in a flash just because I'm so inundated with football.
Class.
But you guys
Don't even
listeners,
chat about football, mate. I'm struggling to watch football at the minute.
yeah, look, can I be sorry, listeners? Talk amongst yourselves, but realistically, I have been watching a lot of Liverpool stuff, and man,
Fuck, it's not good, man.
it's not great. It's not great, and
Nah, it's really not great.
I don't know what has to happen, frankly. Yeah,
Yeah, it's not good. Let's not dwell on it too much. I actually just wanted to mention there when you said about the Spotify rap thing. I seen loads. Obviously, we had a couple of people shared their story where we were in their top 5 podcast, which was very cool. I also seen like people that didn't tag us, and we were in theirs. So I was like, "Geez, we're making moves, mate."
mate. On it, and that was a fantastic segue, might I add.
Very complete. Oh, and by the way, our new logo dropped just in time because that is popping on those little.
Buddy,
Do you know
the green.
Jeez, it looks the part, doesn't it? So anyone hasn't checked out our new logo, go check it out. It looks bloody good.
And all credit where credit is due to Adam here for whipping that up. It's phenomenal. It looks fantastic. And I don't know if you've seen it yet, Adam, but I was on Spotify just before we started recording. We've got our own like creators wrapped, Spotify wrapped.
Okay.
And there's some like wild statistics just to kind of, I guess, put that into perspective. I should have them off the top of my head, but we're like, it kind of gives you the amount of numbers of like total time listened. And man, for 2 dudes sitting in their houses talking about bit of training, bit of football, bit of this, bit of that, mate, you guys are, shout out to you guys for putting up with us and listening to us. It is fantastic. So yeah, if honestly, by the time this goes out, Spotify rap might still be a thing, but yeah, if it is, and we've made your top lists, please tag us because it gets other people to listen to us chat about nonsense and football and maybe a little bit of
And
training.
thanks a million for listening. If we're in there, thanks a million for listening. Is the Spotify rap thing a bit early this year?
I feel like
it usually
is.
like. It feels early. I'm not a fan of it for some reason. I feel like it's quite like it's telling me what I like. It's like, no, I'll tell you what I like.
Yeah. just because you've done that, I'm going to go and listen to something else.
I think mine's wrong.
Do you think? Tell me about yours.
Well, it can't be wrong because it just gathers the data. You know what? I haven't really looked at it. I glanced at it and I was like, nah, I've no time for that. But like my top played song, it was a Fontaine's DC song, and I do like Fontaine's DC, but
I feel like they're coming up everywhere now because they're in
man, they've exploded.
Like they've been in a couple of TV shows. What's it called? Mobland. They were the title tune for that, and I've listened to them a couple of times in House of Guinness on Netflix.
That's right.
Which makes sense, obviously, because it's a show about.
Mate, they have exploded. I seen them for the first. So I was studying the PGCE in Liverpool. We're just segueing like mad here, but
yeah, it's fine.
Oh well. The espresso's in. So when I was studying my teaching in Liverpool, me and a friend that I was studying with went to see them in a student union bar in Liverpool.
Mm.
This was 2021.
Not even that long
Yeah,
ago.
2021. And probably 250, 300 people.
Mm.
And like now, well, I went to see them I think I've seen them maybe 5 or 6 times, but went to
Some
see them
quite
there in
recently,
like
didn't you?
in Ormo Park in Belfast
Mm.
in a mass, like at a festival pretty much. And then last year, me and my dad went to see them in Dublin in the Three Arena, which is like the biggest indoor or one of the biggest indoor arenas here in Ireland in Dublin. So they've just like they've went worldwide, and it's pretty cool to see. You know, when a band though that you really love does explode, and
Mm-hmm.
you're a bit worried about
Mm.
how that's going to go. And they did sort of change a little bit when they released their new album. They changed their look, and that you could see them. They were leaning into that status a little bit, or that you kind of have to
Yeah.
differentiate yourself massively, or something. They were leaning into something a bit weird, like their dress sense and stuff changed. But then I think they realized quickly that it wasn't working, and they kind of reverted.
Mm-hmm.
But oh mate, their early stuff, like their first, well, yeah, their latest album's probably my least favorite,
Mm-hmm.
but their album before this one is unbelievable, and then their first two are also just incredible. So they've just got within a short space of time, they've got some unbelievable music, and the type of albums that you just want to listen to start to finish, as opposed to like pick songs.
Yeah,
Class,
for sure. For
absolute
sure.
class.
I'll have to give him more of a listen because it's only really that one song that keeps popping up. I'll give him a go.
I reckon you'd like them, mate. Based on what I know about you, I think you would like them. But they're a band that if you haven't listened to them much, you have to give them a bit of time.
Mm.
You have to spin them a few times. I remember when I first listened to them, just I love sort of finding new Irish artists. And when I started listening to them, I remember thinking I'm not sure here. And then I just kept listening to it, especially when I was out running and stuff. And then all of a sudden I just fell in love with it. Like it was just like bang. So yeah, they're class.
I feel like it's that moment where you listen to something you're not sure, but then later in the day or later in the week, it's playing in your head, and you're like,
Mm.
"Fuck, maybe I did like that. I need to go
So you
listen
know
to it."
something's good.
And that's it. And that's it. It's like for any Australian listeners, it's like I can't let my missus hear this, but it's like the Wiggles. Have you heard of the Wiggles? Do you know what that is?
Yeah, mate, I used to listen to it when I was a child, or watch it, sorry, when I was a child.
See, we didn't.
Did one of them boys not get done for something very illegal?
What
I think one of
mate.
the Wiggles might have got done for something.
We did. What? I mean,
One of
what
the
are we
old,
talking about? Tax fraud or something a
I think it was a bit worse than that, mate.
bit worse? Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong. I don't want to point the finger here.
I thought they were okay. They do seem like there might be something that comes out in about 10 years' time, but
No,
um,
I think I might be wrong.
okay, fair. Never mind. Never mind. I feel like
I think I might be wrong.
who's the other like Australian? Rolf Harris. Yeah, he wasn't a particularly good boy. That's a story for another day, isn't it? Really.
Yeah, I'm not
But
going that
yeah,
far.
that was I was like because we didn't grow up with it in like that wasn't a thing for me at all. I didn't know the Wiggles. Didn't know until I came here in Australia, and then you'll be listening to it for basically hours on end with the little one. And then I'll be like, oh no, it's actually stuck in my head. Like it's properly stuck in my head. And that's it. And then you have to kind of admit that, yeah, the tunes are pretty catchy. I can see with why these guys are absolutely huge. And yeah, making up most parents' Spotify rap this year. But yeah, that's that.
Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, let's. How's your training, mate? I'm trying to think. What?
It's good, buddy. It's pretty good. Very varied and mixed, but very much enjoyable. I covered like 10 days or so on the pod there that I recorded on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm. No
So
more
since then,
double swims.
no, definitely not. I won't be double swimming again.
Were you
Actually,
real
do you know
sore?
what, mate? I said I am the most hypocritical person. I've just swam this morning, and I actually have a 1-to-1 lesson tonight.
Okay, so double swim it is.
So I'm hoping the lesson is much more technical rather than
You getting whipped. Yeah.
because swimming is such a technical sport, and that's what I'm that's kind of why I'm doing this. One of the coaches from the club's taking me for a 1-to-1 tonight, so
Yeah, nice.
I'm actually really looking forward to that because he keeps saying to me, we want to have you feeling like you're swimming downhill. So I am really looking forward to that feeling.
Yeah.
So yeah, since then, so it's going to be another double swim today, but yeah, I won't be making a habit of that because yeah, it's definitely not something I need to be doing. But since Tuesday, I did so I'd done the swim that morning, and then that evening I had football training. Then Wednesday morning, I just did 45 minutes on the elliptical, very, very low heart rate recovery. I was a bit stiff, so I just wanted to loosen out a little bit. So I kept the heart rate like 105 beats per minute, just because I know that's proper recovery for me.
It's real low, yeah, real low.
It makes me, that kind of intensity actually really does rejuvenate my legs as opposed to put any extra fatigue in. So that was that. And then I did do a little like 20-minute shakeout on the treadmill, just at like 11 minutes per mile pace, like proper slow, because I was stiff. I think it was from the football. I picked up a little knock on Tuesday night, the football. Then Wednesday night we had our social run, and then we drove straight from there to the swim and did the Wednesday evening swim session, which was bloody brutal, mate. It was like breaststroke focused, and before I started swimming in October there, breaststroke was the only stroke that I could actually do. It's just like the one that I would revert to.
Yeah.
And now I absolutely detest it because doing it properly, like under the guidance of a coach, is actually really tough. It's all like timing and you have to really glide. And I actually feel like it taxes my shoulders a lot. So I don't really enjoy that. But good to work on your weaknesses. So that was Wednesday night. Then Thursday, I did a very slow run, 5:36 per K pace for 14.5 Ks, an hour and 20 minutes. Again, just kept my heart rate super, super low. I just wanted to recover. I was feeling a bit tired. And then I didn't train last night because I had quite a bit of work stuff on last night. So I was just busy with a lot of work last night. And I had to leave the house and stuff. So couldn't train with the lads last night. That was the first session I missed in a good while. And then this morning, just another session, which was great. It was quite a high volume session. We did a bunch of 100s, like kind of steady, a bunch of 50s hard. So we did about a 600 meter warm up, and then I think it was 6 100s steady, 8 50s hard, 6 100s steady, 8 25s hard, and then a cool down. So it was quite a bit of volume. There was a bit of faster swimming in there, which I haven't really done yet, which was enjoyable as well. And I'll be looking forward to the breakfast after this morning because bloody starving.
Are you wearing a heart rate monitor for the swims at all? I'd be interested to see what is happening with that.
I'll have a quick look actually. So it says average heart rate on that swim today. I'd say today's swim was a bit higher than normal because my wrist-based one does seem to work quite well. Talk amongst yourselves, as you would say. Average heart rate 115, but max heart rate was 152, which would correlate quite nicely if we were doing those harder efforts, because like my threshold is 150 for running.
Yeah. Okay.
So, and you're moving constantly. So I'd say that's pretty accurate. I would say that is. I can see the trace actually on Strava here, and the way you can kind of tell if data's good or data's bad. That data looks good. The trace looks fairly accurate with the kind of the intervals and the peaks and troughs. So I would say that's fairly accurate. That was good. It was a good session this morning. Lots of swimming and not so much like faffing around or sitting talking or anything. So yeah, it was good.
Yeah, for sure. And it's interesting. I was thinking, because I was listening back, and obviously you've done, or you're really getting into the swimming now, and you even posted, I think it must have been yesterday, your time, the post about just kind of training, doing the things you enjoy. And you're obviously doing a lot of CrossFit at the time in that video. And I really wonder how much, if at all, you'll see your body change over the next few months with the increase in swimming, because like clearly you're someone that is I think someone that puts on muscle pretty easy, just going by those videos. So I'll be really curious to see what you look like and how that changes over kind of the start of 2026, like once it's been 3 or so months since you started swimming. Yeah,
I
I
mean, I'm
think
going to be like Arnold.
you might be. Look, you might be.
Just joking.
Um,
Yeah, I honestly, yeah, that's probably something that's not really in my mind at the minute. But yeah, it'll certainly be interesting. But yeah, that post, I guess, just on that, it's class to be involved with other people. Like I just love the crack with others. I love just jumping in, having it, doing the work, sharing the work with other people, and then all the camaraderie and the banter that goes along with that.
yeah,
That's absolutely just everything for me in sport, and that's what sport's all about. I know like that doesn't suit everyone. Young families, busy work, you might have to squeeze it in when you can get it done, and that's what I've been doing for a long time with my running. But yeah, it's really nice to be working out with a group, and yeah, like I said, the pool has just been this lovely change from winter training and winter running, and I'm still running outdoors like maybe 3 days a week, but it means that you're not like sickening yourself of it either. So when I go running, I'm loving it. So it's like I'm outside, it's class. It's not like something I kind of have to do. It's just like, yeah, it's great. So yeah, I'm enjoying the balance. I would say like when I go back, like when I'm finished with the football and I do go back to training for races, I'll definitely still be swimming, regardless of how it affects my upper body. Like I don't care. You know what I mean? I'm not running 2:05 or 2:04 for the marathon, competing for race wins and all that. So like, I understand some people might say for running, upper body muscle is not conducive to running faster, but yeah, I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
It's
For sure.
just about doing what you enjoy and doing the training that you enjoy. So definitely going to be a lot of learning taken from this, and a lot of yeah, hopefully like lessons in it. And yeah, I'm just loving it.
And can you tell, or is it too early to tell if you've got like a natural thing for swimming? Because I'm guessing pretty soon after you started running, or relatively in terms of the grand scheme of things, you're like, okay, I've clearly got some in here, and I'm maybe above average at the very least with running. Is there something there with swimming as well, do you reckon?
Oh, the best swimmers have been swimming since they were no age, and constantly swimming in the club from no age. So it's such a technical sport, where running is very much not a technical sport. I know there's some technique, but nowhere near to the extent of swimming, and that's what I'm enjoying. I'm enjoying the challenge of that. I wouldn't say I'm a natural, but like I just think I put a post up a while ago about being a coachable athlete, and it's something that I've actually always prided myself on. Anytime that I've worked with a coach, or being coached in person, is like I listen to what the coach tells me. I never sort of think I'll do this instead, or I'll do this because it feels better in the moment. If a coach tells me something, I'll just put my trust in them and do it. So I think when you listen to the coaches and you implement exactly what they're saying, or you ask questions, you can make so much more progress. And that's probably something that I pride myself on, rather than being a natural. I've always really enjoyed training, but also really enjoyed being coached. Love
Yeah,
being
so
told what to do, mate.
for sure. Hey, so I'm the kind of person that likes telling people what to do, hence why I'm a coach. But yeah, no, I do get you for sure, and I guess this is in line
But
with
I'm not. I'm not a natural. I'm definitely not a natural.
Okay, fair. I'm
But I
just not.
feel like the progress has been great.
Mhm.
I'm delighted with the progress so far.
Yeah, I just kind of think about how much the running might translate across to swimming in terms of like the fitness. So they go, oh, this guy's clearly got a set of lungs on him. But yeah, I guess you're right. It comes down to the technique, and that's going to be most of the battle, really, right?
Yeah, the fitness absolutely is not an issue.
Mhm.
And that's nearly something that I'm being weary of, because you can almost like muscle your way through a set, or like let your fitness get you through a set. But I really want to develop technique, because technique is everything in swimming. So I don't want to just like allow my fitness to get me through it. I want to really improve the technique, so I can couple both of those things together. And if you couple really good technique, or mediocre technique, with
Mhm.
really good fitness, then that's a recipe for success. If you have really shit technique, but you're really, really fit, then I don't want to be that swimmer. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I'd rather get the technique down and be patient with the technique. And yeah, of course, it's going to help me with a little bit of fitness, but yeah, just not really focus on it as a quote unquote hard workout for now.
For sure, for sure, and that makes, yeah, I guess it does make sense, and it's probably really nice to be doing something like going from. You're exactly right with running. There is, I think it almost feels like there's no technique because let's be honest, humans are designed to run, whereas humans aren't really designed to swim. Like we're not aquatic creatures. So the fact you've spent so long running and doing something that basically you don't even have to think about, as I mean kids do it and they don't have to think about it, whereas you have to learn to swim. Kids have to learn to swim, otherwise you drown, right? We're not meant to be in it. So that, like, coupled with football, which realistically that's also technical, you want the technical skills before you want the fitness at the end of the day. Doing that together would come as like a really, really nice, I guess, just change from running. And again, if that then kind of reignites the love for running as well, mate, I feel like it's a really nice just mix of everything you got at the moment.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. And I'm still doing like, did 10 by K at threshold on Monday. Um, Felt pretty good. You know, it's kind of tricky managing like sessions with the football because like
Fatigue and
it's
that.
so unpredictable how you pull up from the football. Kind of more like soreness,
Okay.
over fatigue. I was pretty fatigued after Tuesday's football training though because we did like this circuit at the start and it did leave me a bit beat up. But it's unpredictable, especially if you play a game on a Saturday.
Mm.
Like you're going to be sore for a couple of days. I certainly am.
Sore as in like joints and little niggles, or actual like DOMs?
Yeah, more probably a combination of both.
Mm.
Yeah, probably a combination of both. Like sore to the fact, sore to the where you just couldn't go and do a long run on a Sunday. You know, you couldn't go out and run for 90 minutes. It would just be like, it would just feel terrible. You know, your body would just feel terrible, and
Sure. Yeah.
that's where the swim can be so effective
Mm.
because yeah, you might not want to do a swimming session on a Sunday morning, but getting in the pool and maybe doing a light 30 to 40 minute easy swim, it just makes your body feel golden again. The buoyancy
Yeah.
of the water is it definitely rids a lot of that stiffness from the body and that soreness. So yeah, it's great to sort of add it to the repertoire of things that you can be able to do. Jack of all trades, master of none.
For sure, for sure. And on the point, just getting back onto the topic of running, I'm curious, have you still been using the continuous lactate monitor?
No, I haven't used it. I've just been busy, mate, to be honest, and it's probably a crap excuse, but every time I've thought about, you know, thinking about getting it going again and using it, I've just been like, I can't be bothered. I'm in a rush. I've got shit to do, so I just haven't bothered.
Mm.
I have been following the group chat, the WhatsApp group chat, and it's very much in a test period. People are
Mm.
not getting accurate readings, and
Okay.
I just can't really be bothered using it as a experiment. If I was going to use it, I'd want to use it to actually inform my training.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll just wait on the next version. And I see they've got shipping to Australia now though.
I think they had it from the off. So sorry for anyone who is not playing along and missed the last couple of episodes. Adam received, or basically signed up to be part of the beta testing group for a continuous lactate monitor. I forget what the company is called.
Starlight,
Starlight, and they
Starlight.
Starlight, and that is run by, in part, a guy called Mads Terschbal, who's a really good coach. I'm not actually sure what his qualifications are, if he has any kind of actual education, PhD or whatnot. But yeah, basically developing a continuous lactate monitor so you don't have to prick your finger every 5 minutes. It's like a little patch. And Adam did receive the beta version, and I went to do it, but apparently it only works with iOS Apple products, and I have a Samsung, so I wasn't able to do it. Otherwise I would have been bang on to that, because yeah, I asked because I'm just really, I've always wanted to do one of these, and I was talking to former guest and friend of the pod, Scott, and he was he's obviously in the medical field, and he was tempted to get his hands on some of the uh, Lactate Pro lactate reader. And now that I'm on the bike, and it's kind of like perfect conditions for it, realistically, because I just feel like it's easier being on an indoor trainer than it is running on a treadmill,
100%.
especially given that it's in my house. That I would love to just get an idea of what is happening, because something I've been thinking about with my my rides of late, is I'm not sure exactly what is happening when I'm getting fatigued, but I'm pretty sure the thing that stops me most is actually my like soreness in my legs. And going back to your point with the swimming, right? You don't feel like your aerobic system is taxed. I feel like it's almost the same with me on the bike. And I'm more curious to know what the correlation is with lactate. So even on, let's say I'm doing a sweet spot interval, or the equivalent of some like sub threshold work running, like what's actually happening there? Like what's my lactate doing? Should I be dialing it back? Can I actually push a little bit harder? Like just real interesting. So I'm hoping they do, as a next step, or soon get it onto Android, so I can
Mm.
get a load of that, because still it's just the price, man, of these lactate monitors and the
Yeah, they're
tabs.
pricey.
This is real
Yeah, they're
pricey.
pricey. I mean, the thing with lactate and monitoring lactate is, I think we've touched on this before as well. It's often misunderstood and misused as well. You gotta sort of, you gotta baseline yourself every time you train. It's not as if like you just see a number and you go, okay, that just correlates. You know, your numbers kind of change every day.
It's in context, yeah.
So you want to be careful. I don't know if I'm explaining this very well, but you want to be careful that you, I guess, monitor your feeling, so your perception of effort, potentially your heart rate, if you've sort of done some actual lactate testing where you know what heart rate aligns with approximate sort of LT1, LT2. But then similarly, you want to, if you are monitoring lactate, sort of understand how those three variables are linked, and really easy system to kind of think about it if you are someone that monitors lactate and heart rate and speed is, if your speed is good, your heart rate is high, and your lactate is low, that's a green light. That's a sign that you're in a great place. That's a sign that you're in shape, and it's a day to go harder, or a day to do your session, or maybe add some reps on and add some volume onto your session. That's what they call a green light. There was a great article, a great like really long piece written ages ago. This is where I've got this information from, and it was oh man, this is really going to annoy me. Marius Bakken.
Yep.
Is the name of the athlete. Have you came across his stuff?
Of course, in Norwegian.
Yeah,
one of the guys behind the Norwegian
his name's
method.
probably pronounced like Marius Bakken, but he put together a really solid, it's quite old as well, piece of writing about how he used lactate and how he has used lactate over the years. So this is where I'm getting this kind of green light, red light system. And also, sorry, I should add, so heart rate high, pace, speed, good, lactate relatively low for the individual, but also perception of effort, good. You know, you don't feel like you're working really hard. That's a sign that it's a green light to add volume, add speed, or do the session.
Just
a red light.
I was going to say, just to zoom in on that and piggyback that point. So am I right in saying that, and hopefully this is something that the listeners are wanting to ask as well, is that let's say, because you might be asking, okay, well, surely you'd want your heart rate to be lower and lactate to be low. Well, it's like, as I'm reading it, you want heart rate to be higher because that's a good sign that you're able to pump all that oxygen-rich blood around the body, and you're doing that, and that's helping you utilize substrates. Yet you're doing that, but you're still not producing a lot of lactate, which is good because it means that there's no need for that additional energy source. So you're using all that oxygen, basically, right?
Yeah, and also this goes for sort of faster training sessions and intervals, not for easy running.
No.
And similarly, and I mean, to take lactate out of this, because 99.9% of our listeners are not monitoring lactate. So let's just remove lactate for a second to make it a bit more simple. If you go out training, you've done your warm up, you've maybe done some strides, and you've done your first interval, and you see a high-ish heart rate for your session, and it's within the zone, but it's a little bit higher, but your perception of effort's low, and the speed is good, like that's great.
Gold.
I mean, at the end of the day, mate, it all comes back to perception of effort. If it feels good in the body, absolutely carry on. Similarly, to go back to the lactate point, if lactate is doing anything, high or low, but heart rate is lower, perception of effort is high, and speed is mediocre to low, that's a red light. That's a sign that there's quite a lot of fatigue in the body. And again, that to correlate it with the heart rate and the perception of effort, yeah, you're not able to access all of the engine. Do you know there's a handbrake on somewhere in the system? It's closely related to the central governor theory, where the brain has placed this handbrake on the body to protect it because you are fatigued or you're sick or you're stressed, and that's the sign to just pull back on the training or skip the session. And Marius back, and he would have said, like, those days he just canned the session and he came back another day, and that really seems to correlate more so for high volume training. Do you know, if you are running a lot, or if you're someone that's really busy, let's say you aren't running massively, but you've got a really busy high stress job or a high stress life with kids and all the rest, and you're running around like a headless chicken, like, revert to easy if you feel that way. If you feel like it's not a day to run a session, I mean, don't just go through with it, because you're not going to gain much from it. You're not going to get the adaptations. Similarly, when you feel great, go for it and get all the adaptation and have that kind of be able to manage your training in a way like that. So, but it is interesting how it correlates with the lactate. It's, again, like many things in the sport, a little bit counterintuitive, because the heart rate thing, people always think low heart rate equals low effort, but the brain tells you everything. If you've got low heart rate but it feels like you're slogging a little bit, or the perception of effort's high, it's a sign you want to pull back and skip the session and maybe just do a recovery run or a rest.
I think it's also probably worth, like, remembering that resting heart rate and training heart rate are two different things at the end of the day, right? And most of us, to be honest, especially if you are listening to this podcast, probably have some kind of wearable, whether it's a Whoop, an Aura Ring, or a Garmin, that's telling you what your overnight resting heart rate is. And again, it's all kind of, you take it with a pinch of salt and compare it against, like, your trends. But I think it's the difference between, okay, sick, my overnight resting heart rate is lower. That's probably a good sign, probably. Whereas if it's a training heart rate and you're having a hard time getting it above what it should be for, like, an easy run, and it's meant to be a session, like, that's something completely different. So it's kind of worth distinguishing the two. And again, there is nuance to that, I appreciate. And sometimes, like, a low resting heart rate can mean something else. But typically, like, if you are sick, I remember when I had a Whoop and I had COVID, like, it gave me an early warning for COVID, because it was like, your respiratory rate has changed, your resting heart rate is up, and your HRV is down. So yeah, all kinds of things, but worth distinguishing the two for sure.
Yeah. And you know what? Like, from a training perspective, it all comes back to feeling. It all comes back to perception of effort, because the central governor, or the brain, keeps track of all of the internal systems simultaneously and gives you constant feedback to the mind. And if you're able to listen to that, you don't really need to understand anything about physiology. Just listen to what your brain is telling you, and you'll be able to make pretty good decisions. And that's what it actually comes back to. It's like, it can be the most complex thing in the world, but let's simplify it as well, because like, this is running, it's training. There's like, I've gone full circle, and whilst it's great to understand everything, I actually think it's better to be able to listen to your body.
100%. And I had to kind of remind myself that I don't know if you saw my story, but I found that for the second time in a year, my Garmin heart rate monitor broke. So my first one had it 6 months. It broke. It just stopped working, and I had to go a few weeks without it. And they sent me a replacement. 6 months later, same thing has happened, and they're finally, like, thankfully, they've discontinued the model, and they're giving me a full refund, and I've got a Polar instead, which has been great so
I've
far.
seen
But
that actually.
yeah, it's pretty good so far. Seems to be. I mean, I thought the Garmin was good to be honest, but yeah. The one thing I did notice is the new Polars look very similar to the new Garmin heart rate monitors. They've all got like the same
I
shape.
wonder if they made in the same place.
Could be. But I noticed they all look a bit bigger, a bit chunkier.
Mm.
Yeah. So don't know if they've
I'm
changed
tempted
it.
to try. I'm actually tempted to try one of the arm sensors that you put around your arm.
I think the issue is that works. So, I mean, the reason I can't use them is they work off lights and it doesn't pass through tattoos because on both arms. That's why this doesn't pick up my heart rate at all. Is because I've got
Really?
tattoos. Yeah, yeah. Whereas apparently the chest straps work off vibration, and that's why they're so accurate. Um, so yeah, I'm sure they're more comfortable though.
Yeah.
Just haven't
No,
haven't
I'm tempted to try one.
Yeah. Hey, the chorus one, if any of them are any good, the choruses are pretty good. Yeah, as I was saying, I had to go basically a week before I got my Polar without, and I had to, I get so kind of dialed into heart rate, like everything, easy rides, sweet spot sessions, VO2 max work. I'm so fixated on heart rate. So having a week without it, I was like, it takes me like maybe a session and a half, and then I'm like, okay, I actually just need to listen to how I feel. And I did. There was multiple times where I was either doing sessions that had prescribed power output or races where I'm like, this ain't there today. I need to either change the intensity manually to bring it down to something that I feel like I can sustain for 20 minutes, or I need to just go, okay, this is not a race where I'm going to get top 15. I need to just kind of finish the course, get the points on Zwift, get the sick kit, and move on. And so 100%. Like again, I'm someone that absolutely loves. I love all this like data. I want everything. I want heart rate. I want lactate. But you're right. At the end of it, I don't need it. And there's probably nothing more valuable than actually going, okay, how does this feel? Because if I don't think I can sustain it, pushing through, all that's going to do is add more fatigue to a system that can't necessarily handle it, and then you're going to fuck your rest of your training week up.
The problem is that fatigue is exponential.
For sure. Yeah.
When you do push through or you overstretch or overreach in a session, it's not just a little bit of extra fatigue in the system, it's an exponential rise in fatigue, which isn't good because you can go from being great, training week in, week out, day after day, recover, adapt, carry on, to just upping it a little bit, just increasing the intensity just a little bit, and next thing you know, you put yourself in a hole very, very, very quickly. Which is why people are monitoring lactate much more now, because it keeps them just below that red line, where the consequences are starkly increased.
I guess especially when you're a professional athlete and you have to be, it's your job to train every day, to be honest. And even like, this is literally just popped into my head as we were recording. I saw a post. I'm going to make this about football because it's our podcast and we can do what we want. But the post was about Chelsea midfielder Moises Caicedo, who since signing for us back in, I want to say, God, it must be a season and a half ago, maybe even 2 seasons ago, he's missed 3 games, or there's only 3 games that he hasn't played in. And there's sources saying that he's going around being like, look, I'm basically exhausted. I was like, man, I appreciate these guys are paid £200,000 a week. And so to an extent, you're kind of just like, yeah, mate, that's why you're paid £200,000 a week. But yeah, surely they'd be doing something like that even in other sports outside of, because obviously all these lactate monitoring and talking about fatigue is huge in athletics, in cycling, in those kind of things. But it's almost
I've
like,
got no doubt they are getting physiologically tested regularly, but more from probably a health perspective, whether it's a scan or whether it's like an ECG.
Yeah. Even like
Um,
creatine kinase, just getting blood tests done once a week, that
yeah,
kind of thing, right?
like liver enzymes, all of that
Hmm.
stuff. I would say they are having those tests done. In fact, I would have no doubt about it, mate. But
Mm.
yeah, the demands on some of those lads is huge. And again, like mate, the intensity of those games must be like the fitness that those lads have and ladies is something else, because football at the top level is so fast, so intense. Like, I don't think people really appreciate that either.
Mm.
People just be like, ah, sure, they're getting paid. And they are, like, they're overpaid and whatever else, that we can't control that. That's neither here nor there. But the, to look at a football match on TV, it doesn't look as intense as it is. But mate, the intensity of those games and the running for 90 minutes plus sometimes, 2-3 times in a 7-day period, plus your recovery and your all that stuff. I know they're managed really well, but like you just mentioned, him missing 3 games and however many. I seen a stat about Marcus Llorente as well from Atletico Madrid. He's out at the minute, but he hadn't missed a game in, like, oh man, it was silly numbers, the amount of time that he hadn't missed a single minute
Mm.
for Atletico Madrid. And obviously he looks after himself and everything else, but oh man, the intensity of those matches and the fitness that those players have is something else.
Yeah,
It
they
is. It's
have
something
to.
else.
I think it's when you see the ref cams that they've brought in recently, as
Yeah.
to how quickly they're moving, and like realistically, you only turn on the ref cam for when there's a goal, basically a big moment. It's like they're doing this for what is, because now they're giving ridiculous amount of time for like extra time and whatnot. So it's basically 100 minutes of football being played. It's I'd say it's almost like, because I don't know what the average distance covered in a match is. It's probably somewhere around 10K, I reckon. So it's like running two, like at least if you're at the top level, two lots of 10K, 10K races in a week, while you've also got someone kicking you and you're getting knocked about. And most of that 10K
Changing direction.
is sprinting, change of direction. They have to be up there with like some of the fittest athletes. Like
Yeah, and I know
there
they
are.
are playing, like, they're playing on a brilliant surface, which makes a massive difference to
Mm.
like how your legs feel. Like, I've thought about that as well. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Their cardiovascular fitness is next level.
Same
Next
as same
level.
as
It definitely
tennis
is.
players. I reckon people underappreciate how fit tennis players are for a
Yeah,
for a similar thing. Because again, they're not
yeah.
covering the distance, but they're working nonstop, very very quickly.
The thing is,
And
like, the lack of control in a
mm,
game, the lack of pacing and control. You have no control over the pace or the speed of a game or how much possession you have. Yes, I understand Tour de France cyclists and runners that are running marathons, they have some of the most impressive physiological numbers. But when you're climbing up Alpe d'Huez on the Tour de France, like, you're watching your computer to make sure you don't go over the limit. All those riders are dialed in and they understand exactly how many grams of carbs. Everything's controlled and measured within. But on a football pitch, there is zero control over anything. It's just like, yeah, you got to go with what's happening, and you could be absolutely blown out of your arse, and next thing you know, you have to make a massive run or a massive sprint. There's no choice, and if you don't, like, you're dropped. You're out of the
mhm,
team. If
basically,
you're not running, if you're caught out, there is no room for error at all. It's
Un- unless you're Mo Salah and you get away with it for a couple
mate,
of seasons, and then
why
finally,
why are you doing this to me?
sorry mate, sorry bro. He did. In all fairness, he did get dropped for um who was it he played? Was it Sunderland? Yeah,
Yeah,
wasn't it? It was Sunderland midweek, and he came on at half time.
yeah. It was about time, to be honest. He's been shite.
Yeah, look, man, it's what happens. I tell you what, though, he doesn't. It's all about context, because I was watching some of the highlights. Man, I just can't help myself. But Erling Haaland, who is my favourite non-Chelsea player ever, I think, like ever, his closing down. Talking about people doing work off the ball, he does absolutely nothing. Like, he kind of just makes it look like he's closing people down. And I'm like, mate, you're only getting away with this because you're the best striker who's ever played the game, frankly.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, he
yeah.
doesn't.
Yeah, I was like, Mo Salah's getting rinsed for this, and you're there doing it, you big Norwegian uh, urchin. But yeah,
Mate, how I had this question in my head there just when you were talking about the bike. How many hours per week are you training at the minute?
many. And it's genuinely out of enjoyment. I'll show you. Talk amongst yourselves, listeners. So on Zwift alone, bearing in mind one of my sessions I have to do at my gym because I just don't have time to do it at home on that day. Well, if I look at 4 weeks, my biggest week I did was last week. I did 12 hours, not including an hour on at work, so 13 hours of bike in total. Uh,
Jeez, mate, that's good going.
it's hey, I thought I'd really struggle. So obviously now I'm 2 weeks no running since I had the instructions to basically just give it a rest for 6 weeks, and I was like, man, I'm gonna like. Don't get me wrong, I get a sore bum. Like there's been rides where I'm like, oh, I got even with the chamois cream and the padding, I'm like, I got a really sore bum today. But mate, that's been maybe once or twice, and then yeah, it's like what keeps me going is just pure enjoyment. I'm like, because I can stop at any time. Like, let's say today, for instance, the session was only meant to take an hour and 10, because it was 50 minutes with like a warm up, a cool down, and some breaks in the intervals. And I finished. I was like, I've got some time. I just want to cruise around listening to my podcast, and I did. It's like you talk about it when you're on the elliptical and just like you feel good, heart rate is low, and just like I'm just cruising here. And yeah, it makes me feel like I've done something, really.
Yeah, 100%. No, that's good going. That's pretty good volume, mate. You're going to be getting fed off that, no doubt about it.
I think so, mate. I think so.
Absolutely no doubt about it.
And
Yeah, you are.
I think I did for the first time. So I've done a couple of group races, or they're like they're not classified as races, but they basically end up as races on Zwift. And when I first started doing them, I was not finishing particularly high. I was maybe, let's say if there's 100 people, I was finishing kind of halfway. And there was one last week, like start of last week, I came 15th. So the way they typically work is you've got everyone starting at once, and then naturally groups split up basically as to normally what you can sustain. So for me, I'm trying to like hold anywhere between like 2.8 to 3 watts per kilo for the duration of a 45 minute to an hour ride. So you normally end up with a group that's doing similar. And then we're all bunched. There's probably about 10 of us. And then it got to the last kind of couple of K and there was a climb. I was like, mate, I reckon I can go here and no one's going to chase me. And I was the only one that was able to actually go out, mate. It's great fun. Finish 15th. I was like, this is, yeah,
Class.
it's good fun. It scratches that itch that running
Told you
races.
Zwift would be good.
Mate, it's best recommendation. Best recommendation.
Yeah, that's class. That's
Just
class.
makes
You're gonna have to set up a proper pain cave at home, or do you already have that?
got it, man. Yeah,
I
I've
want to
got
see
it.
this.
It's I'll get Nicole to take some videos of me. I even got some in the Black Friday sales. I got because I don't need it, but I actually got the jersey to go with the bib shorts. Because I got
Nice.
some Rafa Nicks because I'm cycling like 6 days a week. I wouldn't need to wash them, right? And I was like, oh, it's on sale. I'll get the top as well. And mate, you look good, you feel good, and yeah, I'll get
Absolutely.
some training footage there.
Have
mate.
you got a fan set up?
Don't need a fan.
No fan.
No fan.
Just
Heat
overheating.
training. Yep.
Fair play, mate. You'll be getting very fit. Good man.
That's the plan. I like
You'll
to.
be
Go on.
you'll be flying off that. You
I
will
tried
be
to-
absolutely flying off that.
Last summer, I made an effort to try and get as acclimated to the heat as possible because I'm like, there's gonna be times where I don't have a fan, so I'll try and stay without one. So majority when I was training for Ballarat through last summer, I didn't have a fan for any of those treadmill sessions, and we're talking like peak Aussie summer. And I'm convinced it did help. I'm really
No,
sure it did
mate,
help.
there is absolutely no doubt about it. It will have. If you can get used to doing some work in the heat, it's gonna help you improve. It's poor man's altitude.
Yeah, and that's what I'd say to any Aussie listeners out there is don't, like, for sure use a fan. Like, obviously, I don't want
Don't
people,
cook yourself.
don't cook yourself and don't pass out, but don't be afraid of a little bit of heat, because it's gonna be good to know that you can train in the heat or race in the heat. Not every session, of course, you don't have to be like me, but not that I'm anything special. I'm just a bit nuts. But yeah, definitely kind of if it's a bit warm and you're like, you know what, I reckon today I can give it a crack. Just make sure you're hydrated. Take breaks if you need to, and yeah, see how you get on.
Yeah.
But
Go easy, just like as well as that, do your easy sessions in the heat, not your harder sessions.
for sure,
Um,
for sure.
and just let the body adapt and get used to it. Does take time,
I
like
reckon it
everything.
helps me because we don't have an aircon in our bedroom as well, and it does get really, really hot in the house. And so I think getting used to even things like training in the heat helps you sleep better in the heat, because otherwise you're going to have a really hard time, because there's amount of days you'll get in an Aussie summer where it's like 30 degrees, 30 to 40
Yeah.
degrees.
Jeez, you've no aircon in the room.
Now,
I'd
I've got,
suffer, mate. I would suffer.
I think it's what you use. I think I suffered, to be honest, first couple of years of being in Australia, we did have aircon in the bedroom, and then we went without it for a while, and I did suffer. But of late, since kind of being more well trained, I found it a lot better. Like, I don't wake up in the night basically pulled in sweat, and I think that is from training
Probably
more in
is,
the heat.
yeah. You're more adapted. I love heat,
Mm,
like normally, but see in bed, I hate being
yeah.
I hate being warm. Um, and Kira's kind of the opposite. She likes to be warm and cozy in bed,
Mm.
and I'm like, oh, can we just not turn the heating on tonight? Because
It's that.
I love going to bed and
It's freezing, right? It's that feeling
well,
when you get.
your body temperature has to drop by a degree in order for you to fall asleep.
Mhm. Yeah,
So
yeah.
regardless of how warm the room is or how cold the room is, I think it's your body temperature has to fall by 1 degree. I think that's right.
It sounds right. It does sound right.
We'll go with it anyway.
And you can get
So
those mattresses now that actually you dial them in to be a certain temperature at a certain time of night to help you fall asleep and wake up.
yeah.
What are they called? Sleep 8, I think. Sleep 8 mattresses.
Just on that as well. See, this morning when my alarm went for swimming, I when you're in the like trying to wake up and your head's a bit frazzled, and I actually had earplugs in as well. So when I have
Yeah.
the earplugs in, I'm all disorientated when I
Dead
wake.
to the world, yeah.
Yeah, it's like this disorientation I feel until I can get them out. So I'm like frantically trying to get these out. But as I was doing it, I was trying to turn my alarm off or just turn the volume down on my alarm.
Yeah.
And I tapped the button on the side that's not the volume rocker, and I called the emergency services at 5 o'clock
Oh.
this morning.
Oh, crap.
So, but thankfully it made this big like siren noise in the room, and Kira was like, oh, she was using all sorts of language, because it was like a proper alarm
Yeah.
on my
yeah,
phone,
yeah.
like a siren alarm phone going off because
Oh,
I'd called the
dear.
emergency services. So I had to
Whoops.
quickly like cancel that, and hopefully, yeah, it wasn't too good. So that happened this morning, but
Sorry, Kira.
yeah, apologies. She wasn't too happy because I tend to get up a bit earlier and do a few bits around the house before we head off. So it means like when I come home, I can just get into my work and don't have to worry about dishwasher and washing up and all those bits and pieces. I like to be on top of all that, get the bed made, get all that stuff done. So I try to get up, get the cars warmed up, all that stuff. I like to
Yeah.
be prepped, whereas Kira just rolls out and comes.
She really was dead to the world until your alarm went off. And
Yeah. She gets up about 15 minutes after me. She just like chucks the clothes on and off she goes.
This morning she was
whilst-
through the roof.
Yeah. So that was this morning, but it was good crack.
Fantastic.
But yeah, we'll probably read it up here quite shortly. I know Valencia
Yeah.
Marathon's happening this weekend, which is going to be
Ooh.
cool. They're offering $1 million or £1 million or €1 million. I don't know which currency.
It's
$1 million
it's about the
something
same thing nowadays, isn't it?
for a world record. Now it is going to be hot this weekend in Valencia, which isn't good. And normally conditions are perfect in December in Valencia, but it is looking like it's going to get up over 20 degrees. So I don't know if that really impacts the really fast guys.
They'd be prepared, surely.
As much. They tend to be like, what I mean is mostly the Africans rather than the kind of European, the American, the Australian. Those, I think those athletes tend to struggle a little bit more. But the African athletes seem to be able to perform in the heat no problem at all. Even in the marathon, it's unreal. Like in London there last year, 22, 23 degrees. Some of the
Unfazed.
times by the African athletes is just incredible. So maybe not a world record, but I'd be surprised if it was a world record in 21, 22 degree heat. But we'll see.
$1 million on the line. That'll push you pretty hard, though, wouldn't it? Jesus Christ, mate.
Sure would. Sure would.
Yeah, well, anyone who's running Valencia, best of luck. But I think that is probably a good time to start wrapping it up. Any plans for the weekend, mate? You doing any training?
Yeah, I have a game tomorrow. So first game in a while because there's been quite a lot of cancellations lately. So that will be good. Looking forward to that. Sunday, we'll just see how it goes. I'll not put anything in stone. And then no real plans, mate. It's actually going to be a relatively quiet weekend for me because the rest of the weekends from now to Christmas are really busy. Kira has her work night out, work party on Saturday night, so I'll be chilling. Not much else. What about you?
Beautiful, man. Yeah, no, really quiet one. I've got my my work Christmas party Saturday night, so that'll be a quick hello and an Irish goodbye, as they say, just because I want to be in bed, mate. I'm so tired, and I'm at that stage where our little one is due in less than a month. I'm like every late night is gonna add up, and I just want to go to bed. Even now it's 7:30. I'm gonna be out like a light in 20 minutes. So I'm just, yeah, it's one of those things. I'll have a great time when I'm there, but it's like, man, I just
In and out.
I just want to do a quick in and out because I don't drink or anything. So it's kind of just, yeah, you're mingling. It's a work thing. All our clients are there. So it's more just kind of, I hope I don't get told off for saying this, but a case of, yeah, shaking some hands, kissing some babies, and then dipping right real quick. So yeah, but other than that, normal weekend of training. I'll probably jump on the bike for a little bit tomorrow morning for like a nice easy recovery ride, and then I'll do something a bit longer Sunday. Not sure yet. Might be a session, might be like a course, but see how I feel, and then more of the same for next week. So
Cool.
yeah, nothing crazy.
Cool.
But
Cool. I kind of want to do something. Sorry, before we go, I kind of want to do something long. I don't know whether it's a really long run, or really slow long run, or like a long bike ride. But I've got this thing, just this like desire in my head to go long,
Yeah.
for once in a quite a while.
Make a day of it.
Yeah. Like.
I'll do
that. Maybe I feel good on Sunday morning. I'll go hiking for 4 or 5 hours when Kira's nursing a little hangover. Maybe.
Mate, I would 100%. I've been having that same thing. Maybe it's an age thing. Maybe it's like white men get to their early 30s, and we just wanna. I just want to train for it. I just want to go on 100K. I just want to do 100.
Be alone for 6 hours.
Yeah, I just want to go up into the mountains, listen to fontaines, and hike for like 7 hours, bro, and just
and see no one.
Yeah, see no one, just be one with nature. I have literally the same thing. And if I could hike, believe me, I would be. But guys, on that note, thank you again for listening, for watching, for putting us in your Spotify Wrapped, whether intentionally or not. And yeah, if you do still have it, show it, share it. That means the world to us. And thank you, as always, for showing up and listening. We really appreciate it. It's been nearly a year that we've been making this. So yeah, it just means the world to us that people watch and appreciate it. So hope you found something interesting today. Hope everyone is having a good week of training, and we will see you next week. Take care.